Hello, guys. Good day. This is Anna of Reinforcement Club. Today, we are going to talk about work related stress management. I picked this topic because this allows us, employees, employers, or an organization, avoid burnout, leading to absenteeism and increased turnover rate in the part of the company. Being self-aware about the work-related stress also help us improve productivity and performance, foster positive work environment, which means that we're going to get a good job satisfaction by means of taking our part, doing our own effort in order to help ourselves cope up or relieve from stress. And in the most part, it enhances our overall well-being, better emotional, physical, and mental health for us. So this is the essence of the topic today. So here are four types of work-related stress. Number one is the task-related stress. So this has something to do with the nature of the task as well as the responsibilities associated with the job that is given to you. This includes tight deadlines, heavy workload, or any task that you perceive as challenging. For example, let's take the hospital setting and you are a nurse. You have four patients in the beginning of the day, beginning of the shift. One is a critical patient and three bedridden. And suddenly, at 12 noon, your manager decided to give you two additional patients, whom have signs of acute heart attack at home. So these two patients are still under investigation and you'll never know what's going to happen. So although you have some background experience about how to handle cardiovascular problems, what to expect on them. So you have six patients all in all for the entire shift. And you have to go through the investigations of these two additional patients, other than the investigations and the interventions that your four okay patients that you already have at the beginning of the day, plus two. All right, a total of six. Now, this is quite challenging to you because the manager didn't really communicate their absolute expectations on you. Although it could mean to say that they trust you a lot, but it's just too heavy. And you didn't say that. You didn't stand for yourself. As a result of that, yes, you could finish the job at the end of the shift successfully with a little bit of overtime in some ways for some reasons. But when you got home, you're burnout. You're totally jump into the bed and then no time for kids, for the hobbies, no time for your favorite things to do at the end of the day. So that is burnout due to heavy workload. I know you also have other stories, but look, you can actually communicate your side to your manager. Make negotiation as much as possible. Now, let's move into the second work-related stress, which is interpersonal stress. So this has something to do with your interactions to your colleagues, supervisors, clients, or patients, which sometimes resulted to conflicts or difficult relationship with your colleagues. You know, this happens that there are just two people who can't get along in the workplace. Or sometimes you don't like the office politics, which is part of the culture. Let's take this for example. You and your colleague keep arguing how to complete the task because you can't get along. That's another stress though. That sometimes at the end of the day you can't able to sleep thinking about it. And your kids might be affected if you can't cope with the with the stress at work, which is terrible. I know, once again, that you have also other stress related to interpersonal stress. But yeah, this happens. The third type of work related stress is environmental related, which means that it could be your workplace is noisy. So maybe it's time for you to buy a noise canceling headphone if that's the case. Or it could be your workplace, you have lack of privacy in the office. Or it could be too cold in the office or too hot. Let's take this for example. In the office, you have a chatty colleague sitting beside you in the office, and your desk is just a quiet distance from a noisy printer. Plus, other than that, people constantly walking by on your office, and you keep looking at them at times, and it diverts your attention while you're working on something serious. That is absolutely environmental related stress in the workplace. So, lastly, we have the so called organizational stress. So, this has something to do with the issues related to the overall structure and the culture of the organization, which means that you can't fit in with the culture of your colleagues, with your manager, with your office mates, and you're just a newbie. You can't fit in. Or the organization or the company has an ongoing layoff, and you keep thinking about it because you have a family relying on you. So another example of this is that you find it to yourself that the management has lack of support on the project that you're working on, and they have unclear expectations. And to add up the stress to your stress is that you have quite some sort of you have this so-called job insecurity, that if you can't finish the job well and you don't satisfy them, you're out. And that's a lot of stress, I'm telling you. All right. With all this work related stress, namely task, interpersonal, environmental, and organizational stress in the workplace, I got you a one single model for stress management, which is the 4 A's of stress management. 4 A's mean avoid, alter, adapt, and accept. Once again, avoid, alter, adapt, and accept. Let's dive into the number one, avoid. You have to be self aware enough to recognize the task, the situation, or the people which ignites or triggers your stress. For example, you can ask your manager to, to delegate the task to other people, to your colleagues other than you. Or if it's a tight deadline, ask the manager to extend the deadline or give you a little bit or mild task to meet the deadlines, because you know in your mind, in your head, you also need a life outside work. You can't bring in work at the end of the shift. You can't bring your work at home or in the pub or in the club. You also need time for yourself. That's just inside your head. But explain to your manager your side with all due respect. All right? Of course, it's important for you to create boundaries too, to say no to some task respectfully, to say no to some people, or this is one of the top secret. Be intentionally uninteresting when you are around with people who drags down your energy, when you are around with people who makes you feel down, who makes you feel, not enough. Just just be intentionally uninteresting so they can stay away from you. That's another way of avoiding intentionally, proactively at the same time. Or let me explain. It's really hard to be around with people wherein, you're not going anywhere. If this is just for example, you're not going anywhere, you don't enjoy being with them, you don't like to talk about other people because that's what their main topic every time you get together. So when you have no choice and they approach you, just be intentionally introvert and uninteresting when they're around so that they can stay away from you, because eventually they're going to feel that you're not interested about the topic at all, not anymore. So that's another way. That's what I'm saying. Proactively avoiding by just, you know, by just prioritizing yourself. Yes, it's not nice, but you can't please everybody. Sometimes you have to stand for yourself. And then the number two is alter. Alter means communicating your side effectively, like discussing concerns with your supervisors or colleagues to seek solution. Let's take this for example. When you keep arguing with your colleague how to come up with a solution and to complete the task, instead of doing that, you talk to your colleague nicely with all due respect and find those part in the task which compromise both of you and work it out, even for the sake of just merely finishing the task itself. And you'll never know. That could be the start of your real friendship. You'll never know. All right? Also, that's another way of growing yourself. When you try to interact, negotiate with people, even with those people you don't like, you try to respect them because we are all different. And not all of our answers are 100% perfect. Whenever we do something, there there's always a consequence behind it. So people could have or other people could have better idea than yours. So you just have to brainstorm in order to come up with a better output that is from both of you, from your cooperation and teamwork. And of course, when you find it hard to really complete a heavy load task, let's just say in a clinical setting in the hospital, you are a nurse, you have four patients, one patient is critical and the three patients are bedridden. Now it's important for you to set priority. So the priority is the critical patient, because the three bedridden patients are all stable. It's just that they need bedside care and assistance. But this critical patient, the number four patient, has loads of chance to get back to his normal things to do, normal status, normal body. So it's important to really do your part to save him. All right, to do whatever thing that is needed in order for him to fully recover and walk again and live normally. Otherwise, if that critical patient will eventually deteriorate, and of course, we don't want that to happen, we do everything for that to avoid that. So, that critical patient is the priority. So, break down the task into smaller, manageable steps and prioritize them, which is the most important thing to do at this moment while you are working. And at the end of the day, it could be another day because you'll be tired, caring for those patients. It's important to seek feedback from your manager about your performance and identify areas of improvement, and of course, to reduce uncertainty in your part. But always communicate to your manager that, about your limitations. You are only human. You can't be a Wonder Woman. If that's only possible, then why not? But you can't be. Number three is adapt. So you have to develop a coping strategy, whether you like it or not. Because we, to be honest, in real life, you cannot eliminate all the stress 100%. So we have to develop ourselves, has to be smart enough to really create a coping strategy. For example, mindfulness, that is meditation, deep breathing, or like relaxation techniques for some people to cope up with stress. For me, I soothe myself. I do self talk and I hug myself. I don't need, as much as possible, I don't feel the need to, for others to congratulate me. What I need, I give it to myself so that at the end of the day, I can sleep tight, have a good night because I value sleep so much that I want to have a good sleep because that is important for me to do my task the following day effectively. Now, another way to adapt from stress is to focus only on things that you can control rather than the things that you can't. And the only thing that you can control in this world is just yourself. Your response to the stressors, to everything that interacts to you is just yourself and your response, your own world, your own time. That's the only thing that you can control. And since you're the only key to your own success and happiness in your life, it's important to set expectations both for yourself and to others. You can even teach people how to treat you. You. It's like I'm talking to myself. One way to teach people how to treat you is to clearly communicate to them what are the things that you can tolerate and what are the things that's already too much for you. All right? This actually reduce the pressure and the stress that you're going to encounter at the end of the day. So when you find it hard to handle all the manager's requests, all the admin's requests, it's important to really set boundaries and communicate it with all due respect as nice as you can. Because whatever your intervention it could be your interaction to other people, it doesn't necessarily reflects on them. It reflects on you. So be respectful, be polite, and be nice when communicating your side. Be agreeable. And of course, everything in life is negotiable except your values. Lastly, let's tackle the acceptance. Accept number 4. Acknowledge that not all the stressors that you encounter every day can be eliminated 100%. So be kind to yourself and acknowledge that it's okay to be stressed at times. Other than, deep breathing, mindfulness, and relaxation techniques, it's also important to seek support and connect with others, with your true friends, family, or if you're well able enough, hire a therapist. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. If you can't control the company's decisions or if you can't take your boss attitude anymore, it's way better to focus on updating your resume and network for potential job changes if you can't take it anymore. If it's not helping you physically, mentally, and emotionally, and it's affecting the people you love at home. So take time to make decision and change your life. So those are the 4 A's of stress management, namely avoid, alter, adapt, and accept. Other than this, we have additional tips to overcome work-related stress. Number 1 is practice work-life counterbalance. Of course, when you dedicate the entire month focusing on your job to finish the project successfully, make sure that by the time you finish your project, you have to make it up to your family, to your loved ones, to yourself. Make time to those things that matters to you. because work can actually survive with or without you. So make sure to make it up to those people who matters most in your life. Even even if it's just yourself, you make it up to yourself. Go for holidays, do your hobbies, do your favorite things, cook for yourself the most delicious food in the world, or hang out with your favorite people. Relax and recharge. Another tip is take breaks. Of course, in between of the shifting of the entire shifts while you're working, savor the breaks. You can take a nap, eat your favorite food, and spend time to talk to your family, physically or video call or call them and say how much you love them. Number three is, of course, engage in physical activity. That is working out. So, to some people, when they are really stressed at work, that is the level of effort that they give out in the gym. And after that, after going to the gym, when they got home, they got a big smile on their face. They've already released the stress in the gym. Or you could simply do brisk walking or just sightseeing in some beaches, or just give time to do some physical activities, just merely walking for 15 to 30 minutes outside your home. You could also prioritize self-care. Get enough sleep, eat nutritious foods, and engage in activities that bring you joy. It could be like a bedtime story with your kids, dining out with your kids, chatting with your family, quality time with people who matters to you. Lastly, you can always seek professional help if needed. Right? There are some things that you can't manage yourself, or it's important for you to really seek out help from professional people so that you can grow fully as you are and unleash your potential to the fullest. So this is Anne once again of Reinforce Me Club, telling you, you never lose, you either win or learn. You can check out the resources of this topic in my YouTube channel. So if you like this content, please subscribe, share, and hit the notification button. So thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely day.